Oh, her warning.
Yeah, this is a girl who says that man has trouble.
This did happen to me, and it was a he. And I went right ahead and married the guy, and it was Garrett.
Before she died, Lucille Ball revealed the 7 Hollywood actresses who were truly evil. What if I told you Hollywood's funniest redhead carried secrets darker than any scandal the Golden Age ever dared to reveal? Everyone knew Lucille Ball as the brilliant powerhouse behind Desilu Studios, the woman who transformed television with I Love Lucy. But fame didn't just give her success, it gave her access, a front-row seat to a side of Hollywood the public never saw. And near the end of her life, Lucille finally broke her silence. She exposed 7 actresses she believed were truly evil, not on screen, in real life. Some were her co-stars, some were global icons adored by millions, and each one left Lucy with a story darker than the last. Joan Crawford, the Ice Queen who terrified Lucille Ball. Lucille had dealt with her share of difficult actresses, but no one chilled her to the bone like Joan Crawford. To the world, Crawford was pure glamour, sparkling diamonds, flawless posture, old Hollywood royalty. But from Lucille's perspective, a different creature entirely, a woman who hid cruelty beneath the shine. Crawford was the one who pushed Lucille to whisper to a friend, "All she has is glamour. Underneath is nothing but ice." The moment that confirmed it came in 1971 when Crawford guest starred on Here's Lucy. From the second she stepped onto the lot, Lucille felt something shift, a coldness you could almost feel in the air. Crawford demanded the studio be kept at precisely 68 degrees, insisted her chair be angled at the perfect degree, and ordered the lighting to be adjusted to flatter every angle of her bone structure. What Lucille witnessed next would only deepen her fear. People loved Joan Crawford for her glamour, her poise, her movie star magic, but Lucille Ball, she saw something else, something the cameras could never capture. And it started on a day that looked completely ordinary until it wasn't. Lucille didn't even object at first. What bothered her came next. A young wardrobe assistant, just 22, brought Crawford a dress with a wrinkle so tiny most people wouldn't even notice. Crawford noticed, and she didn't correct the mistake. She destroyed the girl. Witnesses heard her lean in and hiss, "You're a useless little nothing. Toilets would be lucky to have you." The girl ran out crying. Crawford immediately demanded she be fired. Lucille refused, and that refusal was the moment the private hatred began. As soon as cameras rolled, Crawford flipped like a switch, charming, gracious, sparkling. The second the red light clicked off, she froze again, like a mannequin powering down. Later, Lucille whispered, "I've worked with department store mannequins who felt more human." To her, that wasn't an insult. It was a diagnosis. Crawford wasn't just cold, she was performing humanity, not living it. Lucille believed cruelty toward powerless people revealed a person's true character, and in her eyes, Crawford failed that test completely. Joan Crawford remained until Lucille's final days, the woman she considered truly, unmistakably evil. Judy Garland, the beautiful chaos Lucille couldn't forgive. Lucille Ball never sugarcoated her feelings about Judy Garland. The moment Garland's name came up, Lucy's entire expression changed, not with hatred, but with a hard, exhausted disappointment. Garland's darkness came from somewhere softer, but far more destructive. The moment Lucille stopped defending Judy Garland came down to one brutal truth. Brilliance can be beautiful, but it can also destroy everything in its path. Lucille had known Judy since their MGM days. She loved her voice, her soul, her heartbreaking glow. But Lucy also saw what fans never witnessed, the chaos Judy carried with her, the storm that swept through every set she stepped on, late, trembling, or sometimes not at all. Lucille once told a friend, "Judy was magic, but magic that burned the stage down. And there was one story she could never shake. A TV director in the 70s told Lucille about a shoot Judy was booked for at 5 a.m. The entire crew, grips, lighting, makeup, camera, showed up on time, and they waited and waited. Hours passed, lunch came and went, still no Judy. Finally, at 2 p.m., Garland swept in, radiant, charming, apologizing with that irresistible sparkle. Then she delivered 30 minutes of pure perfection, the kind that reminded everyone why she was a legend. And then she announced she was too tired to continue and walked out. The next morning, 3 crew members were fired because the production had gone over budget. Lucille's anger wasn't jealousy. It wasn't moral judgment. It was the kind of fury born from survival. She had clawed her way through Hollywood by being dependable in a system that tossed women aside the moment they slipped. Watching Judy waste a gift that others would kill for while innocent people paid the price felt unforgivable. At a private dinner, Lucy said it as plainly as she ever had. Talent doesn't excuse destruction. And with Judy, someone always got destroyed. She never confronted Garland publicly. Instead, Lucille made a quieter, harsher choice. She simply refused to work with her again. Hollywood had its storms, but then there were predators. When Judy Garland died in 1969, Lucille Ball mourned the brilliance, but not the chaos. Judy's life was a whirlwind of talent and tragedy, not cruelty. But Ava Gardner? Ava was different. Lucille didn't just respect her beauty, she feared it. Savage, deliberate, and dangerously charming. Lucille once said, Ava enjoyed the hurt she caused. This wasn't accidental damage like Judy's, it was calculated. Ava had a weapon that cut deeper than charm or fame, a taste for cruelty. She didn't stumble into conflicts, she hunted her prey, and Lucille witnessed it firsthand. It happened one afternoon at MGM in the mid-1960s. A young wardrobe assistant, barely out of her teens, handed Ava a freshly steamed dress. A tiny seam had softened under the iron, almost invisible, but Ava's gaze zeroed in, icy and sharp. Her words sliced through the air. Don't bother fixing it. You can't fix incompetence with more incompetence. The girl froze, humiliated. Lucille's chest tightened. This wasn't diva behavior. This was pleasure and domination. Later, she confided to a friend, Ava didn't make mistakes. She made victims. The next strike came at a glittering cocktail party. Lucille's name drifted into conversation. Ava smirked, loud enough for everyone to hear. Oh, the washed-up clown. She's still working. Gasps rippled across the room. And Ava? She didn't flinch. She didn't care. She never did. Some people's beauty blinds the world, but it doesn't blind those who truly see. Lucille Ball knew this better than most. She once told a friend about Ava Gardner. If she hadn't been beautiful, no one would have tolerated who she really was. To Lucille, Ava's charm was a mask for something sharper, something dangerous. They never reconciled. Ava's beauty became immortalized in legend. Lucille's memories of her hardened into disgust. Even in her final years, whenever Ava's name flickered across a magazine or documentary, Lucille would mutter the same line under her breath. People have no idea what she was behind that face. Then there was Bette Davis, the raw talent everyone admired. Lucille, however, saw beneath the surface. Cut people for sport, she once said of Bette. She didn't have to think long to realize why Davis unnerved her. The hostility was immediate, sharp, unforgettable. One incident in the mid-1960s at an industry dinner sealed it. Lucille watched from a few tables away as Bette tore into a young waiter who'd brought the wrong wine. "Do you even know how to read a label, or is that beyond you?" Davis snapped. The boy apologized again and again, but Bette relished the humiliation, performing cruelty as if it were art. Later, she caught Lucille's eye and raised her glass in mock friendliness. Lucille didn't respond. She had already seen enough. Crawford was cold, she told a friend, but Bette enjoyed inflicting the wound. To Lucille, this wasn't just unpleasant, it was unforgivable. Talent deserved respect, she believed, but using power to crush others was contemptible. Greatness, she said, should protect people, not break them. Lucille and Bette never became friends. They shared a city, an era, the same glittering circles, yet they avoided each other like oil and water. Decades later, when Bette appeared in tributes or retrospectives, Lucille declined to join any joint interviews. Then there was Zsa Zsa Gabor. Lucille didn't mince words. The glamour, the charm, it was all fake, down to the bone. Hollywood adored their faces, but Lucille Ball never forgot the hearts behind them. The moment Zsa Zsa Gabor's name came up, Lucille Ball didn't sigh. She didn't roll her eyes. She laughed. But it wasn't amusement. It was disbelief and disgust. Lucille didn't fear Zsa Zsa. She didn't envy her beauty or her fame. What she truly loathed was the fraudulence beneath it all. Zsa Zsa wasn't just dramatic or spoiled. She was a master performer, a woman who wielded charm like a weapon while treating everyone around her like disposable props. Lucille's hatred began one night at a charity gala in the late 1960s. Cameras flashed as Zsa Zsa glided in, draped in diamonds and furs, smiling like royalty. But the moment the photographers turned away, the mask slipped. A volunteer politely guided her to a table. Zsa Zsa hissed, "I don't sit with peasants." Lucille saw it all from across the room. One sentence and the illusion crumbled. Minutes later, it got even worse. A young volunteer, barely 20, accidentally brushed Zsa Zsa's coat. Instead of correcting her politely, Zsa Zsa leaned in, smiling sweetly, and whispered, "Sweetheart, touch my coat again, and I'll make sure you never work an event in this town again."
Lucille felt a wave of nausea. That smile, sweet, flawless, was poison. Later that night, Lucille vented to a colleague. "Nothing about her is real. Not the accent, not the elegance, not even the kindness." To Lucille, fake kindness was far deadlier than open cruelty. It could fool the world, disarm the unsuspecting, and hide a malicious heart. And Zsa Zsa never changed. Decades later, when she slapped a Beverly Hills police officer in 1989, Lucille's response was cold and simple. "There she is, the real one." Lucille never forgave her. In her eyes, the most dangerous evil is the kind that smiles while it stabs. So, after hearing the 7 names Lucille Ball revealed, which one shocked you the most? Does Hollywood still hide people like this today? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more untold stories from classic Hollywood, secrets, scandals, and shocking truths, like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next reveal.